Is the time of your life. This is for the oldies, and you'll see there's some things about this that are a little trickier as we get through it. And then for the people that played for a long time, I challenge you to try to do this up to speed. Okay, it's quite a challenging song to do up to speed. If you want to do it slower for the test, by all means, that is quite okay, as long as the tempo stays steady. The first thing that is kind of tricky is that the hand shape moves a little bit. Okay, for Carly's classical tune, the entire shape is this thumb stays here, okay, and these three fingers stay here. For Time of Your Life, sometimes the thumb moves, okay, and that makes things a little bit trickier. You'll notice I've created two versions of this. One has no markings, and then I've gone through and I've created a version with markings. I want to take a second to go through those, and then we'll try something. You'll see there are these green, I guess they're not exactly circles, they're like rounded squares. And I've circled these because these are where your thumb go. Okay, and you'll see that it's moving through different strings. This is on our big E, that's on our A, and then this one's on our D. So let's get people doing stuff right off the bat. We are going to do thumb on the big E, so just play that. The next measure, thumb is on the big E again. Okay, the next measure, it switches to the A string, and then one to the D. Okay. Now you'll notice that it doesn't always, it changes a little bit. So you're expected to do both pages of the song, and you'll notice as it gets to the chorus, it's slightly different. Okay, so the thumb stays on the E for the entire time. But then as we get to the end of the chorus, you can see it switches here for the D chord. So that's one of the things I'm going to be trying to look for. And so that's the thumb. The next thing is the picking pattern. Okay, the next thing is the picking pattern. For most of the pattern, okay, your fingers stay here on the B string, G, and D. Okay, so these three strings, make sure you have the right strings. Okay, and the pattern he does is something like this: thumb, index, ring, middle, index, middle. So once you've done the step with the thumbs, I'd take some time. Next step would be just to work with this pattern and trying to automate that so you get comfortable with it. Thumb, index, ring, middle, index, middle. Next step is to add a bit of the rhythm to that. The rhythm goes, okay, and usually I break this down, we practice all these steps, so you might want to pause this and try to do the steps independently, okay? Typically we'd spend about 10 or 15 minutes on each of these steps if we were in a class. The next thing is to add the rhythm. So this is step 3, ta, ti, 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 ti. So there's a tie. We don't replay this note, ta, ti, 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 ti. And then we have to add this in here. Thumb, index, da, 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 da. So what does that look like? Okay, you've got Now, if you feel like you've got that and you want to go on, by all means, great. But what we've just done is essentially probably about 2 or 3 lessons. So I'd encourage you to go back and review all this stuff, but I'm going to try to put this all in the same video. Here's step 4 and the final step. Again, please do not go too quickly to step 4. If you're still kind of working on step 1, just getting the thumbs, that's a good place for today. So the last step is to add the chords. Okay, we have a G5. We have a C add 9, and we have a D sus, and an E minor. The nice thing about this is the chords are fairly easy. The first chord, that G5, okay, so here's typical G shape on the bottom, and then these two notes in my third fret are covered with a third and the fourth finger. Okay, and that gives us a G5. Okay, pretty straightforward shape if you've done that before. So there's our G5. You might as well try that. Okay, and then here is our C add 9. These are what they call anchor notes. They stay, but the C shape shifts over. Okay, there's our C add 9, and you can do the D just by this one finger here. Okay, so it's nice because you're essentially moving between this, G, C. These notes stay the entire time. They are called anchor notes, okay, to help you find the other notes. Okay, last thing. I try to put it all in the same video, so I know this is a bit. Last thing is that D shape is a little bit different, okay? I put a note there, hand shift this measure. Okay, so your fingers are gonna have to move a little bit here in order to get the right stuff. Okay, and I shouldn't say hand shift, I mean the pattern's a little bit different. Okay, so you've got thumb, index, thumb, middle. Okay, then finally put it all together. Okay, with the correct chords. Okay, thing. I like this. Oops, sorry. I can't remember the chords. Anyways, you get the point. Have fun.